Good morning, everyone. Today I'll present a research that connects Italian educational debates from the 1990s to current challenges in AI integration. This historical perspective offers valuable insights for teacher training and policy development. The Italian context provides unique contributions that can inform international frameworks for AI literacy in education. This conceptual paper addresses three interconnected questions. First, we identify the computer science foundations teachers need to critically assess AI systems. Second, we explore how Italian scholarship can enrich international frameworks like UNESCO's AI guidance. Third, we demonstrate how critiques of 1990s image-centered digital didactics remain relevant for understanding AI integration challenges today. Italian computer science education began in the 1970s with a strong technical focus, contributing to Italy's post-war economic recovery. However, from the 1990s, the progressive diffusion of digital tools across all subjects led to confusion between computer science as a discipline and digital education. This resulted in CS being treated as mere tool usage rather than as an autonomous science with its own epistemological foundations. This historical pattern helps us understand current AI integration challenges. In the 1990s, Italian educators debated the use of video games and visual media in learning. Some, like Roberto Marigliano, celebrated video games as epistemological revolutions. However, critics like Lucio Russo warned that this emphasis on images and passive skills was training consumers rather than producers of knowledge. This debate, focused on neural network theories and visual learning, mirrors today's AI discussions about form over substance and automation over critical thinking. Three Italian scholars made particularly important contributions. Giovanni Stelli identified emerging postmodern didactics that assigned secondary importance to disciplinary knowledge. Alberto Bioso provided rigorous critique of neural network approaches to learning, arguing that no digital medium can supersede the Socratic method and the intersubjective educational bond. Lucio Russo warned that Italian schools were increasingly oriented toward educating consumers rather than producers of knowledge. These critiques remain remarkably relevant for understanding AI in education today. Computing education must emphasize critical technical realities about AI. Large language models rely on probabilistic models that prioritize plausibility over factual accuracy. While recent studies show GPT-4 can approach human reliability on constrained tasks, it remains fragile on open-ended questions. This means users must have a basic subject knowledge to verify outputs. Additionally, training data is never neutral. It embeds the biases and power structures of its sources. These technical limitations have profound educational implications. Educational technology companies promote AI for personalized learning, but this raises serious concerns. Drawing on Winnicott's concept of potential space, the relational space where creativity and thought emerge, Italian scholars argue that AI risks becoming an omnipotent illusory object providing instantaneous responses without the waiting time necessary for genuine thinking. Furthermore, the edtech sector accelerates the commodification of education, treating students as customers. Recent scholarship uses the term epistemia to describe how AI generates statistically coherent texts lacking epistemic grounding, creating a feeling of knowing without critical judgment. AI systems present significant social and ethical risks. Language models have been characterized as stochastic parrots, systems that effectively reproduce dominant viewpoints without understanding, thereby perpetuating inequalities and power imbalances. The computational infrastructure required makes AI extremely energy-intensive, accelerating climate change. Furthermore, AI development often relies on colonial practices, including the exploitation of low-wage workers in developing countries for content moderation and training. These issues make digital humanism in schools urgent. The Italian concerns align with major international guidelines. UNESCO's 2023 guidance advocates human-centered and age-appropriate AI deployment with strong teacher training. The U.S. Department of Education emphasizes human-in-the-loop oversight and risk mitigation. OECD frameworks situate AI literacies within broader governance across education systems. The Italian historical perspective adds depth to these international frameworks by grounding contemporary challenges in decades of critical reflection. The book In Progress AI project illustrates problematic approaches to AI in education. This Italian initiative adapts content to 8 predetermined learning styles, generates automated summaries and concept maps, and provides personalized feedback. However, this raises fundamental questions. How can we know a student's cognitive style in advance? Should we limit learning to a single style? This approach treats education as a commercial service and risks creating echo chambers that confirm students within their limitations rather than challenging them to discover the unexpected. Italian scholars draw on German educational philosophy to critique competence-based education. While the OECD-backed CBE model treats education as the sum of quantifiable skills, building-oriented education prioritizes holistic understanding, a big-picture approach to learning. CBE's focus on general learning-to-learn strategies, detached from actual subject matter, leaves students ill-equipped for complex realities. In contrast, BOE fosters genuine autonomy and social responsibility through deep disciplinary engagement. This philosophical distinction is crucial for understanding how to approach AI in education. For effective teacher education, educators must master specific computer science foundations. They need to understand the distinctions between machine learning, large language models, and generative AI. They should grasp the difference between prompting and querying, recognize that training data is never neutral, and understand how probabilistic output leads to errors like hallucinations. These technical foundations enable teachers to move beyond surface-level digital skills to critical evaluation of AI systems and their educational implications. AI literacy must be developmentally appropriate. At the primary level, students should learn basic prompting skills and understand the need to verify AI outputs. At the secondary level, education should advance to critical evaluation, examining bias in training data, understanding environmental costs of AI systems, and recognizing the necessity of human oversight. Classroom checklists should include questions like, does this AI tool prioritize plausibility over accuracy, and what human oversight is in place? The Italian debate yields several key pedagogical implications. First, computer science education should be foundational for digital education, not conflated with it. Second, disciplinary knowledge remains essential. There is no substitute for deep subject expertise. Third, teacher professional development must be grounded in intellectual freedom and humanistic values, not reduced to technical training in tool usage. Finally, we must guard against what Italian scholars call pedagogical totalitarianism, the risk that automated personalization systems undermine genuine human-mediated learning and critical thinking. In conclusion, informatics education must now integrate its scientific and technical foundations with renewed humanistic reflection. The Italian debate from the 1990s onwards demonstrates the value of critical, historically informed approaches to educational technology. These scholars' warnings about image-centered, consumer-oriented digital education apply powerfully to today's AI challenges. Their work provides crucial frameworks for teacher training, policy development, and the preservation of human-centered, ethically grounded education in an age of powerful but problematic AI systems. Thank you for your attention. I welcome your questions, and look forward to discussing how historical perspectives can inform our current approaches to artificial intelligence in educational contexts.